Tennis. Sabalenka crumbles to French Open quarter-final defeat by Schneider. Paris, France. Aryna Sabalenka's bid for a first French Open title was left in tatters as she fell apart in a bizarre defeat by Russian 25th seed Diana Schneider in the quarter-finals on Wednesday. The world number one led by a set and a double break before exiting the tournament in a blaze of unforced errors, collapsing to a 3-6, 7-5, 6-0 loss in blustery conditions on court. Philippe Chatrier. I feel like when I saw her, Sabalenka, being emotional, I was like, yes, like, you are in the right direction, you've got to stay, just focus on yourself, don't focus too much on her, what she's talking to her team or whatever she's doing, said Schneider after beating a top 10 player for only the second time in her career. Schneider will face Polish qualifier Maja Kowalska in the semi-finals on Thursday, with Marta Kostyuk or Mira Andreeva awaiting the winner in Sunday's final. She's a very tricky player, so I'm not surprised that she's good. Sometimes, it just takes time, said the 22-year-old Schneider of Kowalska, who she beat at a lower-tier event in Istanbul 4 years ago. Sabalenka was the only Grand Slam champion left in either the men's or women's singles draws at Roland Garros, but belied that status by making a whopping 57 unforced errors. Read, Sabalenka bests Osaka at French Open, Berrettini into quarters. You know those rooms where you just go in and you smash everything? Smiled Sabalenka when asked how she would get over the defeat. Probably I will spend a whole day tomorrow over there destroying stuff. Maybe it will help, maybe not. Schneider was playing in her first major quarterfinal, but now finds herself a strong favorite to reach the final heading into her last four tie against world number 114 and fellow left-hander Kowalska. Definitely a special tournament for me here, added the Russian. It's going to be a lefty battle, so I'm looking forward to the semi-final. Sabalenka's scarcely believable defeat was reminiscent of the way she threw away a strong position in last year's final against Coco Gauff. I knew the final last year, I watched it. I knew that it was also super windy, said Schneider. So, of course I had that thought in the back of my mind that she was struggling with Coco last year. I was like, yeah, I've got to use this opportunity. I need to just adjust and do my best. Belarusian Sabalenka was playing in a 14th consecutive Grand Slam quarterfinal but failed to become the first woman to make 7 straight major semis since Serena Williams. Increasingly frustrated Sabalenka, the top seed raced into a 5-1 lead and eventually sealed the opener on her third set point after initially failing to serve it out. The second set followed a similar pattern at first, as Sabalenka moved 4-1 in front with a double break before throwing away her next service game. Sabalenka became increasingly frustrated as she gifted Schneider 3 break points to level at 4-4. After some animated remonstrating with her box, she recomposed herself enough to hold, but the 28-year-old's game continued to come apart as a string of dreadful unforced errors allowed Schneider to break again and tie up the set at 5-5, with Sabalenka left to gesticulate wildly towards her coaching staff. Schneider could not believe her luck as Sabalenka dumped successive forehands into the bottom of the net to finish off the set and send the match into a decider. The Russian grew in confidence and moved 2-0 up in the third as Sabalenka sprayed 8 unforced errors around Chatrier in the space of 2 games. Schneider cruised to victory from there, fittingly securing a semi-final berth when Sabalenka knocked a routine backhand into the net on the third match point. A stunned world number 1 was left to trudge off court after winning just 14 points in the deciding set, but the 28-year-old's game continued to come apart as a string of dreadful unforced errors allowed Schneider to break again and tie up the set at 5-5, with Sabalenka left to gesticulate wildly towards her coaching staff. Schneider could not believe her luck as Sabalenka dumped successive forehands into the bottom of the net to finish off the set and send the match into a decider. The Russian grew in confidence and moved 2-0 up in the third as Sabalenka sprayed 8 unforced errors around Chatrier in the space of 2 games. Schneider cruised to victory from there, fittingly securing a semi-final berth when Sabalenka knocked a routine backhand into the net on the third match point. A stunned world number 1 was left to trudge off court after winning just 14 points in the deciding set.